Find the future value and interest earned on 25,000 compounded monthly at a rate of 3% for 4 years. Okay, now we're dealing with compound interest here, not simple interest. So we know we want to use a compound interest formula. All right, so let's write it down. A equals P times 1 plus R over N, and all of that to the NT power. Well, what do these letters or variables represent here, right? A is the future value. Notice that it's not I equals, right? It's not the interest. A is the future value, which is the principal plus the interest, okay? You gotta be very careful with that. So once we plug everything into the formula, right, that tells us how much money is in the account, including any interest that was earned, okay? So P is, of course, the principal. That is how much is being invested. Okay, R is the rate, and T is the time in years. Okay, you should be familiar with P and R and T. But what is N? Right? N is how many times, right? How many times interest is calculated, okay, per year. So that's why it's called compound interest, because you're not just calculating the interest once, right? You can do it twice or even in more times. Okay, so you're getting interest on interest. So how many times interest is calculated per year? Okay. Now, in this problem, it says that the interest is compounded monthly, right? So here, N will equal 12, right? So we have N, we know the rate, we have the time, we have the principal, all right? Let's plug everything in. Okay, so we got A equals 25,000 times 1 plus 0.03 over what in this case? N, right? N is 12 because it's monthly. So all of that over 12 to the N times T power, right? N is 12 and T is 4, so this will be to the 48th power. Now you got to be very careful when we do this, right? When we do this calculation, okay, you always want to do this part first, okay? The 0.03 divided by 12, okay? Now, once we do that, you notice in this case, we're going to get, so just as a side note here, okay? We do the 0.03 divided by 12 and you hit enter, we get like, hold on, let me push that in, I made a mistake here. Well, we get 0.0025, right? Okay. So remember, don't clear out your calculator and then hit 1 plus 0.0025, okay? You can leave this value in your calculator and then just do the next step, right? Just hit +1 to that, okay? You can just hit the +1, okay? The next thing we want to do then is raise this, whatever this is, right? We want to raise that to the 48th power, okay? Now in this case, let's change the color here, right? So we get 25,000, and once we do so, you notice we get 1.1273, and it keeps going on, right? Now, once again, do not round this value. Okay? You don't want to clear it out and then enter in, right, round it to the nearest, tenth or the nearest hundredth. Okay, just leave it in your calculator. And what is the last step here? Right, the last step is to multiply this by 25,000. So once we do so, the result is what? $28,183, right? But now we want to round, okay? So we're going to round this final answer to 20 cents, okay? Now reminder, this is the future value. This includes the principal plus the interest, right? So what is the interest then? Well, if this is the future value and we know that the principal was 25,000, then just subtract 25,000 from this, right? So this account will earn $3,183.20 in interest.